Then you have the results section. The purpose of the results section is to clearly describe the results of your study using statistical analysis. So here's where you're going to have a basic understanding of statistics. This is partly why we encourage you to take SAT 250 before taking this class, because now you want to write your results, but also include the statistics. So if you understand statistics, you'll know what R100 equals 0.50, comma P equals 0.01. You know what that means. It means that R is that you have a correlation. The 100 means that you had 102 participants. The 0.5 is the actual correlation itself. And the P equals 0.01 is telling you that the probability of you getting a correlation of 0.5 is equal to 1%. Right? So it's important that you have a basic understanding of statistics so that you can read results sections and understand the statistics that were being used. And then we have our discussion section. This is where you want to draw conclusions based upon your findings. So there are 4 things that I want you to remember to do in your discussion section. And oftentimes students forget to do all 4 and they lose points on their papers. So first thing you want to do is restate your key results without using statistics. And this is also a shortcut. If you don't understand the statistics, you can always skip to the discussion section and see if you can make sense of the results, because you're not going to incorporate the statistics there. So that might be one way for you to kind of make sense of statistics that you don't fully understand in the results section. So you want to restate the results without statistics. Then you want to talk about the implications of your work. Like, why is this important? How does this help us understand the research question that you introduced in the beginning of the paper? Then you want to highlight any limitations, and every study has limitations. And if you're unclear about the limitations, you can always go back to, well, what are the limitations of that particular research method, right? So if it's a correlational study, one limitation that you can't make any causal claims, right? So if you're unclear about the limitations, you can at least think about what are the limitations of the methodology that was used, and you can talk about that as one of your limitations. And then you want to talk about future direction. So you want to tell the reader about, some next steps in terms of the research process that they can explore. So given what we found, here's an interesting question that future research should try to explore. All right, so I said I would come back to the abstract, so let me do that now. So the purpose of the abstract is to provide a concise summary of your paper. And depending on the journal, the word limit can range from 120 to 150 words. And you'd be surprised at how quickly you run out of words in your abstract. The abstract always comes right after the title page, and it's on its own page, and the heading's called abstract. And again, the goal here is for the abstract to allow the reader to quickly make sense of your article. Oftentimes, when people do lit searches, they'll read the abstract to see if they want to actually read the whole article. So the more compelling your abstract is, and the more compelling your title is, that might be the difference between people reading your article and not reading your article. So spending time making sure that your abstract is clear is going to pay dividends down the road. So I talk about the abstract at the end because I feel like as though you can use some of the information that you report in the other parts of the paper in your abstract. So for example, part of the abstract, you're going to want to state what the problem is, right? So you can pull that from the intro of your paper. You want to give the reader a sense of what the major hypotheses were. Again, that can come from the intro. If you give information about the sample, you can get that from the method section. If you provide information about the design, again, that can come from the method section. And you're always going to want to state your key results that you can pull from your results section. And then you want to state any major conclusions or implications, you can pull that from your discussion section. So if you've written the whole paper, then you can pull pieces from that paper to help develop the abstract. So I always recommend writing the abstract at the very, very end.